Hello again, friends. We are back again. I have this little book, part 3. Who knew that a tiny little tag book would take this long? But I think we're going to finish it today. So remember, if you haven't seen how we got to this, you want to go back 2 days of videos, and that's where you'll see how we assembled the book. And then the video just before this is the one where we colored and added the clip art in the book. And now we're going to move on and do some finishing touches. So one thing I decided I wanted to do was add a little bit of white stenciling. Since I used mostly similar colors, I feel that it just needed a little bit more dimension. So I just grabbed one of these little Tim Holtz stencils. I don't even know what this one was called. It came in a 3-pack. And someone had given it to me. That's why it's clean. Because I haven't used it yet. So it's set number 30. And it's this one in the middle. It doesn't have a specific name. Usually these mini stencils are a smaller version of his full-size stencils. And these are meant for tags. But it's set number 30. I didn't know he had that many sets, but I guess he does. So, and it's this one in the middle that's kind of this elaborate floral pattern. I just wanted something that was smaller since his book is so small. I wanted to have something that would just add a little bit of detail. So I just have a little bit of Dina Wakley Media paint in white over here on my palette. I have a little makeup sponge. That's what I like to stencil with most of the time. The important thing with the stenciling is to make sure you get almost all the paint off. It's hard to see with white, but if I had a color, you don't really want to see that much paint, so that you're getting a subtle stencil. I don't want any of the paint seeping under, so I want to make sure I can avoid that by not having too much paint. But I just want to add a little bit of white here and there. And I think I'm going to add some dark too, but we'll see, because the washi tapes that I already picked out have quite a bit of dark in them. So that might be enough dark for me. I always like to add dark and light to a page. So this is just a little bit of white to add some brightness. And then we'll come in with some washi tape also. I hope you all are doing well. It is Friday as I'm filming this. I don't know when you're going to be watching, but it's kind of funny because even before everything that's been going on, Fridays didn't really mean a lot to me since I worked at home. I homeschooled. Fridays didn't really mean a huge amount. And now everybody, you know, isn't so excited about Fridays anymore because it doesn't really mean what it used to. It means, oh, we have a couple days to, oh yeah, stay at home. So, I don't think it's hit me as hard as it has a lot of people. I have a lot of friends that are very extroverted, and I know that they are probably going nuts. I am not going that nuts. There's a few places I would like to go. I miss my little antique store that's in the neighborhood. I miss going there and just browsing around. The one thing I told my best friend that I really miss is just wandering around Target for no reason at all. Looking at the sales at the end caps. That's the kind of stuff. How exciting is my life? Those are the kinds of things that I miss. Going to an art store. But other than that, I cook dinner most nights anyway, so that wasn't a huge change for me. We usually only ate out once a week, so that hasn't been a big drastic difference to me. I just have an extra mouth in the house now that my husband's home, working from home. So I do feel like I'm There's a lot of dishes. A lot of dishes. So, there's just a little bit of stenciling. You can see it just... This page, it doesn't stand out as much, but I think if we add some dark there, it will. But it just adds another little dimension. I really like that one. I think because it's just enough contrast. This one to me seems like a little too much. But this one is just like the perfect amount. So, and I like this one too. So, again, I just like to add that white, and I even added it over the drywall tape because I like how that looks. So the other thing I wanted to do was some washi tape. So I just grabbed these. I like that they're a contrasting color to the background, and I always need a black and white, always. And this one is starting to run out. I need to find some black and white striped. I do not know, oh wait, let's see if we can figure out. Okay, so this one is made by Bella Boulevard. I have a feeling I bought it at Michael's or somewhere like that. But these two are Dina Wakley. I believe this is last year's release, and I believe this was in this year's release. But I can't be 100% sure. But I knew they were both Dina Wakley's. But I just like how they contrast a little. So what I like to do is just go through the book. This page I actually feel like I was going to say I don't need any, but I lied. I see a little corner here that I want to add some of this black and white to. And this black and white might be just enough dark that I don't need to come in with, say, a black Posca or something like that and add. When I do these little books, I do like to grab a glue stick. I'm going to try to find one of my skinny ones. Maybe. I like to add glue stick behind. Here's one. They don't make these anymore, so don't look for them. Prima made these planner glue pens, and they were really wonderful, and then they stopped making them, so we're all sad. But I like to add a little glue on the back of the washi just to make sure that it stays where I'm putting it. So I just want to add a little piece down here towards the bottom. And when I flip it over, you're going to say, "Oh, Mary, that's just what that page needed." There. So there you go. A little bit of washi. This page. So I dug through my drawer looking for some stickers, and I pulled out some of these word chips, and these are Finnabar's sentiment stickers. I pulled those out that I wanted to use, but now that I have that black and white on here, I'm thinking that maybe one of these stickers would be really cool on here too, just to repeat that black and white. I think we'll do that. Again, it's sticky on the back. I'm just adding a little bit of glue just to give it a little more staying power, not powder. And look at that. Okay, I like that page now. So, one done. This one I feel needs a little bit of work. I think that the color's too light. I don't like the stenciling. I'm not in love with the clip art. So, let's see what we can do. I'm thinking about adding this washi down the center. So if you remember, when we built the original book, I used the white washi that was also from Dina to build the book. So that's what's down the center. But I'm wondering if I add some of this washi, if that will brighten up enough. So I won't hate it as much as I do right now. So that adds a little bit. I need a strip of black and white next to it. You know how when you get towards the end of a roll of washi and it starts getting tighter as you're pulling it off? That little roll is starting to get that way, so I know I am getting close to the end. Oh, I didn't put glue stick under that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So there's that. I think it needs some black dots. I think it's too light. I'm just going to grab my Sharpie. I would normally grab my Posca marker, but they're up on the shelf and the Sharpie was right here. So I know I'm just doing little polka dots, so I think that'll be fine. If I add them in one spot, I like to add them in 3 spots because I like to do odd numbers of things. So if I do one little field, I typically will do 3 because 1 looks like kind of an accident. 3 looks like it was on purpose, but I put them in random places, so I don't know. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I do a lot of things, so. Okay, that's getting a little bit better. Still not crazy about that area. Maybe it needs another sticker on it. And then I won't have to look at it. Yep, I think that's what it needs. Now, as you can see, I contemplate things for a long time. Really, I mean, if you put this together and you don't love it, well, just make another one. Just make another one. It's just a book. Some tags, some tape, a little bit of paint. At this point, what else you got to do? Just build some books. One of these little books I made last month, I actually put in the packages that go out to my patrons on Patreon. So I did just a surprise. I put it in a random package, so I don't know who got it, but somebody got that little tag book. So this one might end up in this month's shipment. You never know. I do enjoy making these. Okay, so I like that a little bit better now. It breaks up that stenciling that I didn't like. So let's move on again. This page I actually kind of like. I said that I wasn't crazy about the white, but let me grab Posca's now. I'm thinking that if I take my white Posca and kind of blend it in to this stenciling, that maybe I'll like it more. I guess we'll find out. If I don't, then I'll find something else, right? Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't love it, but I like it. Again, doing 3 little areas, different sizes, just to, there. Now that I've done 2 pages with these black stickers, I feel like I need to keep doing them. But do I need any washi first? I think I do. I think I need a little bit of this black and white to anchor that flower that's just kind of floating in no man's land. It needs a little ground to sit on. And then a word or a sticker. Did I have a theme? Good life, sunshine, sparkle, and shine. No, not really. So let's just see which one fits in. You can see these have come unstuck. I don't know how long I've had these. Obviously something that I really wanted enough that I bought them. But then you get scared to use stuff because what if it's not the perfect project? So, okay, I like this one. So I want it there. I think I want it over the flower. Oh, and I forgot. Alright, these are pretty sticky. I keep forgetting my glue stick. But one thing I need to do, I want to cover up that white. So do I want black and white washi? Alright, I think I'm going to do a strip of this one first and then a strip of the black and white over it. And I'm remembering a little bit of glue stick. Even if it's just, it doesn't have to be on the whole thing. It just, I don't know how long washi tape is meant to last. So I always just add a little bit of glue to it. There, that just covers up that white. And then I think I'll take just a little bit of black so it repeats the black and white that's down there, and add that on top. I like to layer washi tapes like this. And some of the wider ones, I even like to tear them in half. So it's not just a strip all the time, but that looks pretty good. I like that. Once I'm done the book, I'll go ahead and do some pictures and post those at the end so you can get some closer ups. I know it's hard to watch on the video. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side, covering up that white strip that was on the die cuts. And this little red looks good next to the teal. I don't know if that one needs a black and white. Yeah, maybe it does. Why not? We're here. We might as well. Kind of repeats the black and white that's in this vase over here. So I like that. It's got white stencil. Doesn't need black dots. Doesn't need white dots. I think it might need some white. Maybe in this area. A few over here. And a few up here. Okay. All right. Give those just a second to dry. The Poscas dry pretty quick. And inside the back cover, I need something. This flower is just floating completely. So I've got to figure out something there. But in the meantime, I'm going to take a piece of washi, and then sometimes what I like to do is I just grab it and tear it down the center. And I'll end up using both of these pieces probably. But it just adds a little more interest. So it's not just a square rectangular piece of washi tape. Adds a little something. And then I haven't used this green one yet. I think this one will look good on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and layer. So you saw when I tore this, the flat edge is on the bottom here. So I'm just going to line this one up, overlapping a little bit, but with that square edge at the bottom. Like that. And then I'm going to add a sticker over the top. Oh, I didn't add a sticker to that one. That's okay. The flower on that other one is very large. I want to use a circle one, so I'm going to grab this one. And I want to layer it over the washi. I can't decide. I think I want it more to the left, not quite in the center. So then you can see more of that drywall tape. And then this area, I think, add some black dots. See if that makes it feel a little more anchored. It just, to me, it looks like it's just floating there. So some dots there. I think I'll add a few over here. Maybe a couple here. Just some little ones. That feels a little more anchored, but I'm almost wondering if that would anchor a little more. If I grabbed one of these rectangular words. This one. Just to add a little more darkness over there so that it's not that I want to draw in a stem, I just want this to feel like it's attached to something. So I like that. And then the back cover, I'm actually going to open it back up. So I have stencil. I don't know if I need washi. Why not? The nice thing about this washi here is you can see it has all different varieties of color. So sometimes, like, I grabbed a section that didn't have that red in it, and it just looks like some paint splatters, so that's pretty cool looking. So I'll just put that on the bottom. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to layer a little black and white on top of it. I remember the glue half of the time. Put that in there. And some white dots. There. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So since I used, I'm going to go ahead and wax a few of these pages. I would normally wait a few days and let it cure, but I just wanted to show you guys what I normally do to wax. So I do this in my art journals too, but I use Dorland's Wax Medium. This is meant for cold wax painting, so do not read the directions that are on here, because they're not going to tell you how I'm going to tell you to use it. You can use it for cold wax painting too if you want, but I like to use it on all my journal pages because it prevents them from sticking. Because anytime you have acrylic on both sides and then you close your book, it's essentially plastic and you're pressing it together, and it's going to want to hold on to the other side, and then you open your book and your page rips and it was the most perfect page you've ever done in your entire life, and then you're sad. So this is how you don't be sad. And I have this giant jar of it, but they sell it much smaller. I think this is the 16, yeah, this is 16 ounce. It comes in 8 ounce, which is, I think, the more common of what you would find. But I tend to use a lot of it. Plus I give it out in classes. I have little containers that I'll give out, especially like when we have a retreat. So this past retreat, everybody got this little container of wax medium so they could try it out. And I'll tell you, the 8 ounce container will last you a long time. It's about, I think, $10 for an 8 ounce container. But it lasts forever because you use, it's hard to see, but there's a tiny bit on there, and I will be able to wax this whole book with that little bit. So I'm not going to wax any of the die cuts because they're paper. They're not going to stick. I'm worried about the areas that have acrylic. I'm also not worried about the washi. And I don't need to wax the front cover. but I like how wax pages look and feel, so I tend to wax everything. So I just rub it on, and then I rub it off, kind of like car wax. And then it gets this kind of, it's almost like a leathery feel. Not a texture, but I don't know how to describe it. It just makes your pages feel great, and you want to rub them all the time. So again, a little bit on. This page may not be such a concern because these stickers are they're thicker. They're more like a chipboard sticker, and they're going to keep your pages kind of away from each other. But the worst thing that can happen is in, you know, a year you open up this little book and you're so excited about it and all of your pages are stuck together. Oh look, I didn't put enough glue on this one. This may be one I didn't put any glue on because it moved right off. So we'll just add him back in. But the worst thing that can happen is you open this book and everything is all stuck together. So it's nice just to give it a little final coat. And I do pay a lot of attention to the inside seam to get that really waxed, because you can think as you close something, that's where the most pressure is going to be. So when I'm doing my journals, I do it the same way. I pay particular attention to that inside seam. This one is not as important, again, because I have my die cut there. That's paper. Paper's not going to stick to paper. So that should be fine. And then I didn't tell you, but I'm just using a little piece of a paper towel, and then a bigger piece to kind of buff it off. So that's usually all I use. And a lot of times I'll just leave this little piece in the jar of wax, so then it's always there waiting for me. You don't have to wait for the wax to dry or anything. I wouldn't call it a dry wax because it does feel like it has some moisture to it, but it doesn't really need time to dry. It doesn't smell a huge amount. If you're working in a closet or something, you may want to come out of the closet before you wax your pages. But otherwise, my studio is pretty small, and I don't really notice the smell of it. So, and I already did the back page. So now we've got all of our wax done. I'll throw my paper towel in there so it'll be ready for next time. And I'm going to grab a baby wipe. I do tend to get wax on my hands when I'm doing this, so just to get that off. And then I think the last thing I want to do, since this is tags, I do want to add a little bit of ribbon to the top. I've been trying to decide if I want to add a piece of ribbon through all 4 tags at once, so that's kind of like the closure, or do I just want to make the front one decorative and then you can open it anytime you want. I haven't decided, but I did find this little scrap of fabric that I thought would look cool, but now I don't think it does because I don't like the purple with that pink flower. So let's see what else we have. I've been doing some stuff with fabric scraps. I'll show you those. But let's finish this first. My ADD is kicking in. I wonder if I could get a little tag out of that. A little strip. I like to do just little slow stitching projects. And so these are just, I just keep a bag of scraps. So I have that. I don't know if it's long enough. We'll find out. So let's try it through just this front one and see how that looks. Oh, it's really short. It's like that short little ponytail when you first start growing your hair out. Oh, I don't know, it looks kind of cute. kind of like it. I think that might be enough. I don't think I want to do an individual one, do I? No, I think that would be too busy. So I think I'm going to leave it that way, but I wish I had some sort of closure. But it's hard with that. Nope. Alright, I may not have a closure for this one. I saw a book I wanted to make, but it's multi-layer, and you actually put little magnets and metal pieces inside the double pages, so then it's closed. So that would have been nice if I did that, but that didn't happen. Well, I do want to press it, because see how the pages are kind of wonky, so maybe once I press it, it will stay a little closer, and I won't feel like I need a closure on it. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to throw this under a heavy book, and oh, but I'm going to show you the fabric pieces that I've been working with. So I watched a video, and I've always liked using fabric in my collages, but so much of the time it's this super thin cotton fabric that I buy, so it needs something to stabilize it, so it's easier to cut into a shape if you're going to collage with it. But I never have the official stabilizer, the stuff you can find at the fabric store. I don't keep it in stock because I don't sew. I just like stitching stuff, and I never think of buying it, so therefore I haven't been using my fabric. But I watched this video, and what she did was she took her fabric scraps and put them onto coffee filters. So I'll show one that I haven't cut up yet. So it's just a coffee filter, your fabric, and then she used gel medium. So I'm going to grab the one that I used, maybe, possibly. Oh, yeah. So I had this one by Ranger, multi-medium matte. The only thing, you don't want to have a real fluid medium because it'll just seep right through the fabric. You need something with a little bit of body to it, so it doesn't just pour out. The difference would be if you have something that's really watery, you wouldn't want that. So this works really well. If you have Tim Holtz's Collage Medium, that would work really well. Or Golden, their gel medium, either matte or gloss. It doesn't matter the finish really. Because I don't think it would get super glossy even if you had a gloss. I used a matte, and so this one is very matte, but I don't know if it makes a difference. I think the most important part is the body of the glue that you're using. But then just glue them down onto coffee filters, and then when you want to use your pieces, of course once they're dry, don't cut them while they're wet. But it's so easy to cut out any shape that you want, and you don't have frayed edges. So then you can take that and you can glue it into your journal, onto a canvas. I've been using them. I have these little blocks. They're little blocks of wood that I've been working on. And so this is a piece of that fabric, you can tell. But I just cut it out and then I glue it down with more of the same matte medium. And this one isn't done, but I've just added a couple of those layers. And to do that with straight fabric, it would be so hard, number one, to get that shape, and then you would have all these little threads hanging off, which is fine if that's the look you're going for, but this gives such a clean look. So if you like to collage with fabric, or if you've collaged with fabric in the past and it hasn't gone well, here's a little tip for you. So you can see I've been going to town. I have a couple of these blocks in the works. So that one you can tell. Look, I can just put it back together. That one came out of there. These little pieces in the background are jelly print, and then this one is a fabric on top. And then this one I've added just a couple pieces of fabric and a little piece of paper in there just to work on. So these are all works in progress. I don't know what they're going to look like when they're done. But I thought I would share that, and I'm just looking around my desk to see if there's anything else I should be sharing. No, but I think next time we're together, I've been wanting to try these Paper Artsy fresco finish acrylic paints. They are a product from Europe. I'm not really sure what country. I'm not sure where Paper Artsy is. I think it's the UK, but I'm not 100% sure. But a lot of artists I follow use these, and I've always wanted to try them. But so many times when you go to order them, because they're coming from the UK and I'm in the US, the shipping is as much as the paint. So you pay $5 for the paint, and then it's $5 for the shipping. So I've never ordered them, but last time I ordered some things from Joggles, I noticed that they had a selection of these Paper Artsy. So I just ordered 3 colors. Obviously I ordered 2 teals. So I'm just interested to try them out. So next time we're together, I will probably go ahead and swatch those, or I may swatch them before and show them to you so you can see what they look like dry. But I think that is it for now. I hope you guys have a great weekend or week, depending on when you're watching this. And I will see you guys next time. Happy arting!